The most recent image of the interstellar object 3I/Atlas has just been released. It was captured on the 5th of November 2025 by the Lowell Discovery Telescope in Arizona, and what it shows has left me, quite frankly, speechless. You see, when an object travels for light years through the cosmic void and arrives at our doorstep with surgical precision, we have to ask ourselves a rather uncomfortable question. Is this chance or is this choice? On the 5th of November 2025, two photographs changed everything we thought we knew about our place in the universe. These images revealed something that the global scientific community is struggling to explain. Its name is 3I/Atlas. And today I'm going to walk you through why this object might be the most convincing evidence that we are not alone in the cosmos. Now, I've spent my entire career studying the universe. I've seen neutron stars that spin 1,000 times per second. I've witnessed galaxies colliding over billions of years. But nothing, and I mean nothing, has made me question our understanding of physics quite like what we're seeing with Atlas. To understand why Atlas is so extraordinary, we first need to understand what interstellar objects are. Imagine our solar system as an island in the cosmic ocean. Occasionally, bottles in the water reach us, objects expelled from other stellar systems traveling through space for millions of years. These are the messengers from distant stars, carrying with them the secrets of worlds we'll never visit. So far, we found only two confirmed visitors before Atlas: Oumuamua in 2017 and Borisov in 2019. Both already left us perplexed. Oumuamua, that strange cigar-shaped object that accelerated without any visible outgassing. Borisov, which at least behaved somewhat like a normal comet. But Atlas is different from anything we've ever seen. When 3I Atlas was at a distance of 1.38 astronomical units from the Sun, that's 1.38 times the Earth-Sun separation, and 2.23 AU from Earth, the Lowell Discovery Telescope captured something remarkable. Atlas appears as a bright ball of light, comparable in size to the point spread function that defines the telescope's resolution. There's a faint glow around it, similar to an atmosphere or coma. But here's where it gets interesting. There is no clear evidence of a cometary tail. The atmosphere was observed with a green filter optimized to detect diatomic carbon molecules, C2. It's brighter in the bluer filter. Now, this might sound like technical jargon, but what it means is profound. We're seeing an object that should be behaving like a comet, but isn't. Let me explain what should be happening. When a comet approaches the Sun, the heat causes its ices to sublimate, to turn directly from solid to gas. This creates a massive cloud of gas and dust that gets pushed away from the Sun by solar radiation pressure and solar wind. It's as fundamental to comets as waves are to the ocean. It's what creates those spectacular tails we see stretching across the night sky. But Atlas is breaking the rules. In the 5th of November 2025, the Virtual Telescope project released two photographs that left the scientific community in a state of shock. In the same image, we see two objects: Comet Lemon from our solar system, displaying exactly what we expect, a bright tail pointing away from the Sun, and Atlas, completely clean, without any sign of the tail that should be there. Dr. Avi Loeb from Harvard. And I must say, while Avi and I don't always see eye to eye on everything, his calculations here are impeccable. He did the mathematics to explain Atlas's behavior. Based on momentum conservation, if Atlas is experiencing the non-gravitational acceleration that NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory has detected, it should have lost more than 13% of its total mass during its perihelion passage. Let me put that in perspective for you. Atlas weighs at least 33 billion tons. It's between 1,000 and 1 million times more massive than Oumuamua or Borisov. Its core is about 6 kilometers in diameter. If it lost 13% of its mass, We're talking about 5.5 billion tons of material. That's equivalent to about 55,000 aircraft carriers worth of gas and dust that should be streaming away from this object. Where is this massive gas cloud that should be impossible not to see, but it gets even more peculiar? This morning at 4:10 a.m. Universal Time on the 8th of November 2025, the interstellar object exhibited a complex jet structure. Observers M. Jaeger, G. Riemann, and E. Prosperi observed Atlas at 29 degrees of separation from the Sun in the sky. The stacked images, consisting of 24 exposures in the green filter, each lasting 35 seconds, plus 2 exposures in red filter and 2 in blue filter dash, show a large, bright halo extending up to 500,000 kilometers. That's 5 arc minutes on the sky. The images show at least 7 distinct jets. Now here's where my physicist's brain starts racing. Some of these jets are anti-tails. They're pointing in the solar direction. In 40 years of studying astronomy, I've seen cometary jets. They're caused by pockets of volatile ice on a comet's surface suddenly heating up and erupting. But 7 distinct jets, some pointing toward the sun. That's unusual, to put it mildly. Is the network of jets associated with ice pockets on the surface of a natural cometary nucleus? Or, and I'm just posing the question here, are they coming from a set of jet thrusters used for spacecraft navigation? We simply don't know. In a significant discovery for astronomy, the MeerKAT telescope managed to detect hydroxyl molecules in Atlas. The observations captured radio absorption lines produced by hydroxyl radicals, molecules composed of 1 oxygen atom and 1 hydrogen atom. These detections occurred at 2 extremely precise radio frequencies, 1.665 and 1.667 gigahertz. The successful observation took place on the 24th of October 2025 under challenging conditions. At the time, Atlas was positioned very close to the Sun in the sky, with only 3.76 degrees of angular separation. That's approximately 7 times the Sun's apparent diameter. This proximity made observations particularly difficult due to interference from solar radiation. It's worth noting that this detection was not obtained on the first attempt. The MeerKAT telescope had made previous attempts to detect these signals on September 20th and 28th, 2025, but both observations were unsuccessful. The subsequent detection in October therefore represents an important milestone in the study of this mysterious interstellar visitor. But here's what's keeping me up at night. On October 29th, at its closest point to the Sun, Atlas began doing something that gravity alone cannot explain. It began to accelerate. NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory detected that Atlas is 4 arc-seconds away from its predicted position. Now, this may not seem like much, but when you're tracking something 203 million kilometers from the Sun, this deviation is gigantic. The object is accelerating at about 0.02 millimeters per second squared. To put this in perspective, over just 1 month, this small acceleration pushed Atlas out of its expected path by about 80,000 kilometers. That's twice the circumference of Earth. The acceleration has 2 fascinating components. There's a radial component of 135 kilometers per day squared, pushing it away from the Sun, and a lateral component of 60 kilometers per day squared, moving it sideways. It's like throwing a ball in mid-air. Small rockets start firing, changing its trajectory. Something is pushing Atlas. For a comet, the natural explanation is outgassing. When ice heats up near the Sun, it turns into gas and fires like a rocket engine. This is totally normal for comets. I've seen it hundreds of times in my career. The problem is the amount of gas that would need to be coming out of Atlas to create this acceleration. If you know the acceleration and the mass, You can calculate how much gas needs to be ejected to create that push. It's Newton's third law. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. The result? Atlas would need to lose at least 1/6 of its total mass, 5.5 billion tons of gas in just 1 month. That amount of gas would create a massive and incredibly bright cloud. It would be impossible not to see with our telescopes, but it simply isn't there. Now, I want to be very clear about something. As a scientist, I deal in evidence, not speculation. But when the evidence doesn't fit our theories, we can't just dismiss the evidence. We have to take it seriously and explore all possible explanations, even the uncomfortable ones. Atlas presents 9 anomalies that challenge our understanding of physics. Let me walk you through them one by one. First anomaly, the impossible trajectory. Atlas is traveling aligned to just 5 degrees from the plane where all planets orbit our star, the ecliptic plane. Imagine a table where all the balls are rolling on the same level. That's the ecliptic plane. An object coming from another stellar system should arrive from any random direction in space, like a ball thrown from far away that can come from above, below, any side. But Atlas arrived almost perfectly aligned with the planet's table level. The probability of this happening by chance is only 0.2%. It's like hitting a tiny target in the dark while blindfolded. Second anomaly, the jet that defies physics. During July and August 2025, Atlas did something never seen in nature. It created a jet of material directed straight toward our star. All known comets do the opposite. They always create tails that point away from the sun, like hair flowing in the wind when you run. It's a basic physical law. Solar radiation pressure pushes material outward. Atlas broke this fundamental rule. It's as if someone were running, but their hair flew forward against the wind. In my entire career, I've never seen anything like it. Third anomaly, too big and too fast. Atlas is 1,000,000 times more massive than Oumuamua and 1,000 times larger than Borisov, but still moves faster than similar objects. It's like finding a giant truck overtaking race cars on the highway. Larger objects in interstellar space normally move slower due to the gravitational forces that expelled them from their origin systems. Atlas breaks this rule with very low probability. Fourth anomaly, timing too perfect. Atlas arrived with perfect timing to pass close to Mars, Venus, and Jupiter, but remained invisible from Earth during the most important moment, perihelion. It's as if a tourist visited 3 important cities in a country but managed to completely avoid the main airport security camera. The temporal precision of this sequence is extremely rare, rarer than winning the lottery. Fifth anomaly, factory composition. Spectral analysis revealed that Atlas contains much more nickel than iron, a proportion typical of metallic alloys produced industrially on Earth. Natural comets should have a random mixture of metals, like a soup of cosmic ingredients. But Atlas has a specific recipe, as if someone had carefully chosen the ingredients. The probability of this specific composition occurring naturally is vanishingly small. Sixth anomaly, dry as a desert. Comets are known as dirty snowballs because they're 80 to 90% water ice. Atlas has only 4% water. It's drier than many deserts on Earth. It's like finding an iceberg that's almost all rock. This characteristic challenges the very definition of what a comet is, suggesting it might not be a natural comet at all. Seventh anomaly, impossible polarized light. Atlas showed a light polarization pattern never seen in any known natural object. Polarization is like light's fingerprint. Each type of surface creates a unique pattern. It's as if Atlas had a fingerprint that doesn't exist in any file in nature, including all comets ever studied, even Borisov. When light bounces off a surface, it becomes polarized in specific ways depending on the material and structure of that surface. We've catalogued thousands of these patterns from asteroids, comets, and other celestial bodies. Atlas's pattern matches none of them. Eighth anomaly, connection to the 1977 mystery. This one sends shivers down my spine. Atlas arrived from the same direction as the famous WOW signal of 1977, the most mysterious radio signal ever detected, and which many consider the best evidence of extraterrestrial communication. The directional precision is impressive, like two events separated by almost 50 years, pointing to the same cosmic address. The probability of this coincidence is extraordinarily low. Ninth anomaly, hotter than our star. Now Atlas appears bluer than our own star, suggesting it possesses an internal energy source hotter than the sun's 5,800 degrees Kelvin. It's like finding a candle that shines more intensely than a bonfire. This indicates technology capable of generating temperatures superior to our star, something completely beyond our current capability. As Atlas approached the sun, its brightness increased following a power law with an exponent of -7.5. For those who don't speak mathematics, here's what this means. Normal comets get brighter as they approach the sun, following a power of -2 to -3. Atlas is getting bright much faster than any normal comet. It's increasing at more than double the rate we would expect. This is completely unprecedented in my experience. And then there's the color. Atlas is blue. It's appearing bluer than the sun itself at its closest approach. This is extremely strange because dust naturally makes things appear redder, not bluer. Atlas's surface should be about 20 times colder than the sun's surface. Cold surfaces don't glow blue, they glow red. It's basic black-body radiation physics, something we've understood since Max Planck. Natural explanations involve ionized gases like carbon dioxide emitting light directly. This is possible, but each natural explanation we propose needs to face all 9 anomalies simultaneously. And so far, none have succeeded. We've seen this pattern before with Oumuamua. The first interstellar object also showed non-gravitational acceleration, but showed no gas or dust coming out of it. Even the super-sensitive Spitzer Space Telescope couldn't detect any outgassing. Scientists ended up calling it a dark comet, which is basically an oxymoron. The defining characteristic of a comet is its tail of gas and dust. But Atlas is showing us something even stranger than Oumuamua. It's showing additional strange behaviors that make the natural explanation even harder to accept. Some scientists are saying the data must be wrong because they can't explain it, but that's not how science works. You can't say the data is wrong just because you don't have a theory that fits it. That's putting the cart before the horse. The data is what it is. Our job is to explain it, not dismiss it. The physics is clear. Massive acceleration requires massive mass loss. If we don't see the gas cloud that should accompany such mass loss, we're left with only one explanation that fits the data. Now, I want to address something directly. I know what some of you are thinking. Brian, are you seriously suggesting this might be alien technology? And my answer is this. I'm a scientist. I follow the evidence wherever it leads. And right now, the evidence is leading us to a very uncomfortable place. If Atlas is technology, we're observing propulsion capabilities that challenge our understanding of physics. A civilization capable of sending probes across light years of empty space with surgical precision. Think about what that means. The nearest star to our sun is Proxima Centauri, 4.24 light years away. If Atlas came from there, and we don't know that it did, it would have been traveling for thousands, perhaps millions of years. And yet it arrived at precisely the right time to pass through our inner solar system, close enough to observe our planets, but far enough to avoid capture. The navigational precision required for this is staggering. Between late November 2025 and late January 2026, dozens of ground-based telescopes, including the Hubble Space Telescope and the James Webb Space Telescope, we'll all be observing Atlas. On December 19th, it's making its closest approach to Earth at 167 million miles. If that massive gas cloud is there, we're going to see it. But what if it's not there? This is where the scientific discussion gets really compelling. If we don't see that massive gas cloud, then the natural explanation fails. If there's no cloud corresponding to the amount of gas needed to create this acceleration, then we have to seriously consider that the acceleration is coming from something else, something technological. I've spent my life studying the cosmos. I've always believed that in a universe with hundreds of billions of galaxies, each containing hundreds of billions of stars, the idea that we're alone is absurd. The numbers simply don't support it. But believing something exists and actually finding evidence for it are two very different things. What we're seeing with Atlas might be that evidence. Consider the implications. If Atlas is artificial, it means we're not alone. It means there's at least one other civilization out there advanced enough to send probes between the stars. It means they know we're here, or at least that our star system exists. It changes everything. But let's also consider the alternative. Maybe Atlas is just the strangest comet we've ever seen. Maybe there's some exotic physics at play that we don't understand yet. Maybe it's made of some material we've never encountered before. These are all possibilities. The beauty of science is that we don't have to guess. We can observe, we can measure, we can test our hypotheses against reality. In the coming weeks, the world's most powerful telescopes will be trained on Atlas. We'll be looking for that missing gas cloud. We'll be analyzing its spectrum in unprecedented detail. We'll be tracking its trajectory with millimeter precision. If the gas cloud appears, then we'll know Atlas is just an extremely unusual natural object, and we'll have learned something new about the variety of objects that exist in interstellar space. That would be exciting in its own right, but if the gas cloud doesn't appear, well, then we're in uncharted territory. I want to share something personal here. When I first saw the data on Atlas, my initial reaction was skepticism. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, as Carl Sagan used to say. But the more I've looked at the data, the more I've run the calculations myself, the more difficult it becomes to explain Atlas through conventional physics. The 7 jets we're seeing could be natural, but they could also be thrusters. The perfect trajectory could be chance, but it could also be navigation. The unusual composition could be natural, but it could also be engineered. Each anomaly by itself could be explained away, but all 9 together, that's what makes Atlas so compelling. There's another aspect to this that we need to consider. If Atlas is artificial, why would an alien civilization send it here? There are several possibilities. It could be a probe, similar to our Voyager spacecraft, designed to study star systems as it passes through. It could be a beacon, announcing the presence of another civilization. It could be something else entirely, something we can't even imagine with our current understanding of technology and motivation. But here's what strikes me most about Atlas. Its behavior suggests sophistication. If it's artificial, it's not some derelict spacecraft tumbling through space. It's actively maneuvering. It's maintaining a specific orientation. It's following a precise trajectory. The countdown to potentially the most significant discovery in human history has begun. In just a few weeks, we'll know if we're truly alone in the universe or if we're currently observing our first confirmed visitor from the stars. Hundreds of telescopes will be searching for 5.5 billion tons of lost gas. If that gas isn't there, we'll know we're not looking at a comet. We'll be looking at something much more extraordinary, a piece of technology from another world, demonstrating propulsion capabilities that challenge our understanding of physics itself. As I stand here, looking at the data, I'm reminded of something Arthur C. Clarke once said. 2 possibilities exist. Either we are alone in the universe or we are not. Both are equally terrifying. With Atlas, we might be about to find out which one is true. The scientific method demands that we follow the evidence, no matter how uncomfortable it makes us. And right now, the evidence is telling us that Atlas is not behaving like any natural object we've ever seen. Stay tuned, because we're about to witness either the most unusual comet in cosmic history or humanity's first confirmed encounter with extraterrestrial technology. The observations in December will be the most important in the history of astronomy. The truth, as they say, is out there, and it's just a few weeks away. In my decades of studying the cosmos, I've learned that the universe is far stranger than we can imagine. Black holes that bend space and time, quantum particles that exist in multiple places at once, dark energy that's accelerating the expansion of the universe. Each discovery has challenged our preconceptions and expanded our understanding. Atlas might be the next chapter in that story. Whether it's natural or artificial, it's already teaching us that our cosmic neighborhood is full of surprises, and that, perhaps, is the most exciting thing of all. The universe never fails to amaze me, and Atlas, whatever it turns out to be, is a reminder that we still have so much to learn, so much to discover, so much to explore. The next few weeks will be crucial. Every telescope that can see Atlas will be watching. Every scientist who studies comets and asteroids will be analyzing the data. We'll either solve this mystery or deepen it. But one thing is certain, Atlas has already changed how we think about interstellar objects. It's shown us that these cosmic visitors can be far stranger than we ever imagined, and it's reminded us that in science, we must always be prepared for the unexpected. As we wait for the December observations, I encourage you to look up at the night sky and wonder, somewhere out there, right now, Atlas is hurtling through space, carrying its secrets with it. Soon, we'll know what those secrets are. The universe is speaking to us. The question is, are we ready to listen? Thanks for tuning in. Feel free to check out the next video on your screen. See you on the other one.